I have been posting a lot about how I liked the Super Bowl halftime show, but I've also been expressing my concerns. And my thoughts were not received well. There were assumptions made that my critique of some of the inappropriate dancing on the at the show was my critiquing Latino culture and art. I want to thank, first of all, those who know me and who chose to instead give me a call and they asked, what do you mean? What are you referring to? I valued the display of culture and all of that. My issue was the times where the camera would do a close-up on the dancers' behinds. And I just want to be clear. I had a problem with that. And my voicing this is criticizing anybody else's heritage. And I want to talk about why that was a problem for me. It did not happen a lot. It did not happen the whole thing, like the whole show wasn't inappropriate. I felt that the show was important. I felt like it was very educational. What I have done, once I saw the camera doing that, we decided to turn off the halftime show, and then we waited for the next day, and we've been showing clips of the appropriate parts of the show to our kids. My reason for having issues with the camera, I really hate that I have to explain this, but my issues with having the issues with the camera doing a close-up on women's behinds was not just because I felt disrespected as a woman. And let me compare it to Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar also did a very cultural, historic show last year. I thought it was amazing, and it was dancing, it was beautiful. Women were elevated and honored, but there were no close-ups of their behinds. There were no dancers who were only wearing kind of skimpy undergarments with the camera doing a close-up. And even if it was only a flash moment, it was a moment, and I think it was unnecessary. In fact, you could have done all of that without that. And I think what I struggle with is how we have become desensitized, and we can't recognize the difference between cultural expression and appreciation and the actualization, and be careful, of women. And I don't think we'll ever be able to address the issues of lust and things in our society, in our churches, in our world, if even women keep celebrating this stuff. When we express concern about a camera doing a close-up on women's behinds and on the parts of themselves that are not about culture, but they're about look at my body to lust. When we express that and even women criticize us for that, then we can't change the culture. But I do believe that as a believer that there are certain ways we should dress and carry our bodies, no matter what country you're from, that reflects an honoring of the woman's body, and that it is not for every man to lay their eyes on to lust after. Now, the other reason why I really had an issue with it is because I'm now raising 3 teenagers, and I've been working with children for many, many years. And one of the things that has come out in my school and in my home, I love the fact that we have a community where young people can clearly communicate their struggles, their challenges, without feeling judged, without parents and teachers and all of us freaking out. But yet, when they communicate, we can support their journey. And what we have found is that when puberty starts around the age of 12, those hormones are off the chart. And music, videos, things they see that are not even pornographic can trigger a struggle that is hard to overcome, which leads to, I probably would say, the average age that my students have started having activities. I gotta watch my words because I'm on TikTok. It's 13. Between 12 and 13. I've had some as young as 4th grade. And when we talk it through, and the parents and we're walking through, because our community believes in walking through things, not judging kids, but walking through things, letting them communicate so we can support them. We have found that many of them are not even engaging in pornographic activity. They're just watching music videos, listening to different music, watching commercials. All of those things trigger it. And now that I have 3 teenagers who are going through that phase, they have had even more intimate conversations with me about their struggles and how they are Christian, they want to be godly, but then they struggle with these hormones that are all over the place because of puberty and adolescence. And they have articulated to me that it gets worse by what they see in videos. And I was even not clear. I wasn't aware of how hard the struggle was. And I kind of freaked out. I was like, are you sure you're not looking at, pornography? And they're like, honestly, we are not. It's just a commercial, a music video, anything. And so along with the students and our children, they've created this way to engage in their online activities by limiting how much they see certain videos with women or guys and showing any parts of their body. Because at that young age, they are not able to process, you gotta respect a woman's body. A woman should be able to express herself without you. Their hormones are just all over. They can't think. They're not mature enough to do that. The mind hasn't quite lined up with the hormones yet. And I'm just learning that in the middle school years, from let's say 6th to probably around 10th grade, things are so uncontrollable they can't think. They see the image and they're gone. And I think parents need to understand this. So my speaking out against that Bad Bunny halftime show was not a critique on his heritage. It was coming from a mom place, a principal place, a teacher place, someone who was always working with children, and young people have communicated to me, when I see certain things on video, it jacks me up. And so what I wish is that something like a Super Bowl that is supposed to be family friendly, they're not going to be sensitive to this, but I'm going to share it with you anyway, would be more sensitive that all of this is going on with these children. And that when you're going to do a show like that, be mindful of that. Now, I thank Kendrick Lamar. He I don't know if he was thinking like that, but he seemed to care about how women were presented in his show. And my kids could watch it without issue. My students could watch it without issue. I could share it across the school without issue. I'm now curating and finding clips to share with students because I am mindful, very mindful now, especially as my kids are now in adolescence and puberty and being early teens, that something that I may watch and it doesn't bother me. Like the video itself did not bother me personally. I thought it was all with my own children and I had to turn it off. And I'm teaching my children, you can't avoid it, what you see, but you can turn it off. You can turn your head. You can close your eyes because this battle is real, y'all. And one thing I don't want is my children to fall too early where they can't emotionally, spiritually, mentally recover. I think we all underestimate how hard it is to be a teen and preteen, early teen. It is so hard. I don't know if we are really protecting and supporting our teens as they go through that phase. It's just the phase, they'll grow out of it. But actually what I have learned is that the strongholds adults have started in the early teen years, in the preteen years. And if someone did not step in and walk with them and talk with them on how to work with it, how to explodes into all of the things that are going on in our society right now. I feel extra passionate about protecting my students and my children's minds. They should be able to watch this beautiful display of culture and a true understanding of e pluribus unum, and my children should have been able to enjoy that because a lot of those moves are connected to art and culture. Maybe it was more an issue with the way the camera was working, but the camera is choreographed, so he wasn't just doing it on his own. He was directed to do certain things. There were times in that display where it was about a celebration of culture and art, but there were these brief moments subliminally sprinkled throughout that it departed from a celebration of culture and art to let's look at women's bodies inappropriately. And that's what I had a problem with, and you should too.